Today on Recliner Reviews, we're talking about a fun sports-themed movie, but first, we're going to tell you about a drink we're going to have with it. Chris, what are we drinking here?
We're drinking the Caddy Master.
Caddy Master.
This is from our good friends at Blue Blazer.
Blue Blazer.
It's got CH vodka, grapefruit juice, lime juice, and cane sugar.
Cane sugar.
And let me tell you, you drink this thing, you can just drink it all day, and it's dangerous because you don't know how much you're drinking.
And it's Caddyshack themed.
Look, there's the Caddy Master.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that is refreshing.
Yeah, like you can just take it out on the golf course and...
It's limey. Yeah. I barely even know there's alcohol in that.
Exactly, which is why it's dangerous.
Also, the movie.
Caddyshack. It's all about swinging,
Kiss me, you fool.
but not on the course.
Hey, you want to make $14 the hard way?
Playing a good game
That's the ball. He got out of that one.
and talking a better one.
Hey, I should have stayed home and played with myself.
Taking shots
That was a bum shot.
and making time.
We couldn't possibly think less of each other.
Controlling your drives
Wow!
and losing your grip.
So, here's my first point about this. This popped in my head when I was making notes for this movie. Is this a sports movie?
I mean,
It's never talked about as a sports movie.
We don't talk about
Caddyshack is a sports movie.
the thing is you have to make the distinction. Is golf a sport?
Right, but like, okay, so also then is Happy Gilmore a sports movie?
I think you've had enough.
I don't think that's ever talked about.
Well, there's more. There's hockey in there too.
That's
so,
true. Tin Cup is a sports movie.
So if Tin Cup, which is about golf, is a sports movie, then yeah, I'd say this is a sports movie.
It's never talked about among, it's talked about among like the best comedies of its era. I've never heard it called a sports movie.
I mean,
So I don't know where it ranks.
sports is not. I mean, I guess it just happens to be set at a golf course.
Yeah.
I don't know that it necessarily.
It might be too satirical to be a sports movie, I guess. But then like, is Air Bud Golden Receiver a sports movie?
Tell you one thing, boys, that ain't no golden retriever. That there's a golden receiver.
Air Bud, Golden Receiver, rated G.
I mean, is it not?
What is a sandwich?
He would be the best
Is
wide
ser-
receiver on the Bears.
Here's a quick throw to
Here, bud.
good throw. Touchdown.
That's no golden retriever. It's a golden receiver.
Is
in Bears
cereal a
history.
soup?
Is cereal a soup? Cereal is 100% a soup.
I just wanted to throw that one out there because it didn't even occur to me until I was thinking about this. Like, this is never called a sports movie, but it's one of the best movies to feature sports, or one of the most iconic movies to feature sports. Because it's not just the movie, which is hilarious. I think it's a good satire. It's funny. It's really rewatchable. You throw it on whenever.
Yeah.
We talk about a lot of movies that are rewatchable. This is right up there with all of them. But the brand of Caddyshack has lived on forever. Like, what this is to the Murray brothers, I guess not just Bill Murray, but the Murrays, is like what the '85 Bears is to Ditka. They have multiple restaurants in the Chicago area called Murray Bros Caddyshack, which I've never been to, and the drink that we have right here has Murray Bros Caddyshack on it. I can't think of very many movies, like standalone, well, kind of standalone movies, we'll get to that later, that have had a brand so big as Caddyshack in the comedy realm.
Yeah.
There's no Animal House like restaurant. There's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers, they have like the bands in Vegas, like the what do they call? Impersonators.
Yeah, impersonators, yeah.
But this is like, it's crazy how this brand has blown up.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I don't know who the driving force is, right? But like, the Murray family is very large, and this could be a like nod to the other ones that aren't regular actors or, you know, appearing in things like that to kind of toss a fin their way, you know,
to leech off it a little bit, yeah. And that could be, but like, what is it about this movie that is so? I don't want to overuse the word iconic, but like that, like this came out what year?
1980.
Another 1980, and I feel like anyone, like, in my generation, like this movie resonated more. Like everyone, I don't know anyone who hasn't seen this of my like. My age bracket.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody I think has seen it at one time or another. Whether or not they appreciate it or enjoy it is a different story. But I mean, I think the common thread of all the movies that we've done is whether or not it's like a classic movie, is how quotable is it?
Yes.
And this is extremely quotable.
100%.
I mean, everything about it is quotable, especially if it's a Bill Murray line. It is kind of ironic how quotable it is because Bill Murray had no lines written in the script. Everything he did was improvised.
Well, there wasn't a lot of. He didn't have that many lines.
No, but
at all, so,
everything he did, and most of the stuff he does and says is like quotable.
Right.
You got to kill all the Gophers. Well, why would we kill all the golfers? That's a quotable line. He just dropped that. His whole speech about when he's hitting the flowers and pretending he's golfing.
It's in the hole.
Right before the rainstorm, where he goes out with the priest. That's all made up,
right.
On the spot. That's all improvised. So, again, yeah, I think if you have a movie that you want it to be iconic, it better have extremely quotable lines that will live, that hold up.
Yeah, and also the star power of it. So Bill Murray became a bigger star after this movie and in the future, but a young star in him, and then Rodney Dangerfield, that crossover, that's gonna already carry the movie when it comes out.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of cool overlap of Bill Murray went on to have a big movie career after this, and Rodney Dangerfield is just knocking out all these great comedies in the 70s and 80s.
Well, can I tell you, would you think this movie would be different if Don Rickles?
Shut the crap again!
No, it's a nice.
Steve Canadian.
Played opposite of, played the role of Rodney Dangerfield?
Not that much different, no. I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like
I'm
it might be.
Rickles guy,
I feel like it
him.
might be different, and a different type of movie because their humor is a little bit different.
Yeah. But I could easily see him doing it though.
But yeah, Don Rickles was originally they tabbed him and he didn't end up doing it, of course. And the reason why I think Dangerfield worked so well is because there's an anecdote about him on set where he had no idea about movies or how to act in a movie or how to do anything in a movie. And so that scene where they're in the pro shop and right at the beginning of the movie and the with the hat.
Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you though.
He was getting ready. They're like, okay, Rodney, are you ready to shoot? He's like, yeah, we're ready to shoot. And then they go, action. And he just stood there and he did nothing.
I've heard this, yeah.
And they were like, okay, cut. Rodney, are you ready? You ready to do it? Yeah, action. Nothing. And so it got to the point that action meant nothing to him, that Harold Ramis had to say, all right, Rodney, do your bit. That was how he, all right, Rodney, do your bit. Hey, it just outrageous.
Yeah.
And, I think this is because of it being one of the first, film movies for him, paved the way. So, we talk about Back to School, right? Same type of thing. He had to kind of get into a groove.
Right.
And learn how it is to be on set. But he had no idea.
That's funny. But he's, the perfect, just thinking of him and Rickles, I feel like they both could have done it, but his buffoonery plays really well here. And that's funny that he didn't know how a movie set worked, because we know his whole career story is he left entertainment, worked a regular ass job forever, and then blew up again in his late 40s, the 50s maybe, it might have been even older than that. So he didn't even become a star until he was a middle-aged man.
Yeah.
And all of this in the 80s, even though he's an older guy, is kind of new to him.
Yeah.
Being a star was new to him.
Yeah,
That's why I find
sure.
him so interesting, just because of that. And he nails all these comedies in this decade that are hysterical, but the fame was all new to him at the time.
Yeah, and he's a total fish out of water in this movie. That character is a fish out of water, which makes it work, right? You have these stuffy old country club folks and then this dude who just like doesn't belong, but yet like he's bringing that comedy. I really appreciate that. Now this movie is based on so Brian Doyle Murray, who plays the Caddy Master. He wrote a lot of this, and it has to do with him growing up being a caddy on the North Shore of Chicago. And so he had plenty of experiences with people like Judge Smales,
Sure.
who were just total D-bags. I don't know if he had experiences with a guy like Rodney Dangerfield, but you know, it's really interesting to see, like, effectively, and again, this kind of goes to, you know, talking about how the Murrays are, you know, they're continually living with this Caddyshack thing and having the Caddyshack restaurant. I mean, it is their life.
Yeah.
You know, the Danny character, like that, his family is based off of the Murray family. The fact that there's 8 siblings in the Murray family, and like what their house was like on a daily basis trying to go to school.
Right.
All of them being, all of the boys at least being Loyola Academy grads. So again, growing up on the North Shore of Chicago, going to a school where a lot of Judge Smales and his nephew, right? Is it the nephew? I forget now at this point, that is golf. You know, that goes golfing with him, and they stop at the turn to get a snack. And I want a hot dog. I want a hamburger. I want a Coke. You'll get nothing and like it.
That's probably based off of real interaction too.
Probably, yeah.
But that's how you like write. So I don't know what their creative process was, but I feel like if you write this world based off your real experiences and like real characters that are stuck. I mean, if you grew up in, I have friends in with Loyola Academy, so I feel like I can say this. Stuck up kind of like culture on the North Shore, and then you invent the Rodney Dangerfield character to break that up. Like he's thrown in that to break all that up into like, because they could probably just write based off their real experiences of living in the North Shore and country clubs and all this stuff. It's not funny. What happens is you throw in this curveball that mixes it all up, and then all of a sudden that's where the plot goes.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
I mean,
him
being the foil, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the Gopher, I mean, you've seen me dance.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
That Gopher is fantastic. They tried to actually get like a real Gopher, but they couldn't make that work.
That'd be tough. That's not as easy as like Bedtime for Bonzo.
Bedtime for Bonzo, starring Ronald Reagan, Diana Lynn, and Bonzo, that amazing chimp.
Like having Reagan play with a chimp, the Gopher is a little bit tougher. But the Gopher and Bill Murray is like the perfect ounce of absurdism to go along with an otherwise pretty straightforward, for the most part, straightforward plot.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know where the stuff with the Gopher is going. It's kind of like we were talking in a previous episode about Blues Brothers and Carrie Fisher trying to hunt them down. Like, you don't know where that, like, where is this going? This is just kind of a goof throughout the whole thing, and it's kind of the same thing with this. It's like, this is just some kind of goofy thing that ends up, like, playing dividends at the end.
I mean, I feel like with this movie, like, yes, there's a plot, but there's not really a plot.
No, there really isn't.
Like, it's just kind of like vignettes.
Yeah.
It's like little movies here and there just pieced together that put it all together. So.
Right, but then like the plot of like the wager that they make toward the end, like that's straightforward. It's like a golf match, like you kind of get it. And then the Gopher at the end. So it is kind of like vignettes, and it's not that, even though he's a common denominator, like Dangerfield and Back to School is like kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's completely different writers and everything, but that movie didn't have a plot. And I think he's such a character that if the movie is kind of a lot of non sequiturs, like he can carry it just based off doing his act, kind of just being him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, having him in it with like Bill Murray and all of these other like basically talented actors changed the whole face of the movie. Like, this was supposed to be a coming of age movie for Danny.
Yeah.
And it changed, and it became this ensemble comedy with the vignettes because of that, because of all of the talented actors that are in this movie, and how funny they are. It just changed everything. Now, of course, Chevy Chase we've heard a lot of stories about him that he's
about being a douchebag,
a total asshole.
Yeah.
And I guess that is
kind of a shame.
No different in this movie as well.
Right.
And I guess there was a little bit of concern because Bill Murray and Chevy Chase had some issues on Saturday Night Live before they filmed this movie. And when they have that scene in Bill Murray's and Carl Spackler's shed or whatever, his house shed, whatever, they were really worried that it was gonna like come to blows because Chevy Chase is a giant asshole and was a giant asshole at Saturday Night Live, and you know, you put two personalities like that together and it's gonna be. How old is Lacey Underall?
Don't know if
they don't say.
Yeah. So.
But like the question is, how old is Lacey Underall? Because, right, she hooks up with Danny, who is a high school kid, but she also hooks up with Chevy Chase, who is clearly, what, upper 30s in this movie?
Late 30s, early 40s.
Because he's like successful or whatever, unless he's like a young 20s, like he's in his 20s and, you know, has just because of what his father had done, that like he took what his father did and like expanded on that. So maybe he's in his 20s. But like, how old is Lacey Underall? Because we don't know. We just know that she got sent there by her family.
Right.
But she's hooked up with two different people, very different age groups.
There is a weird thing that's come up. We've recorded a couple of these in a day, as you probably can tell if you have used context clues. But in several different movies we've talked about, there's some weird age stuff with like sexual relationships from this era, from like late 70s to like mid 80s, where it's like, this is funny if we just like throw a 17-year-old and a 35-year-old, or like a 18-year-old and a 13-year-old or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's a good point, but I guess that's part of the humor of it, is like going to both directions, hooking up with two people in the same movie, not that far apart.
Because I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like, her hooking up with Chevy Chase doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It, like, if you removed that whole thing from the movie, like other than a couple of like funny lines or whatever that happen when they're hooking up, you don't miss much by them not having that. You do have the tension between Judge Smales and Danny. From finding out that he hooks up with Lacey.
Right.
But like, again, like, how old is she? Like, we don't know. We don't know if this is like, she's, you know, batting above her her station or whatever with Chevy Chase and is actually about the same age as Danny.
I would assume closer to that.
You know?
I think Chevy Chase is older.
Well, for sure he's older. I mean, I love from the nephew, his line when they're smoking weed.
You're probably so high already you don't even know it.
It's like, you're probably so high you don't even know it. That line always makes me laugh. Because you know, you all have a friend who is like, who talks up their game, whether it has anything to do with smoking weed or something else, but like, that always talks up their game. It's like, you probably just don't even know. That line always gets me.
Yeah.
That line, it always just makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, that's the end of it, of like, you don't even know it, is super relatable, because it's also like, he doesn't even have like a creative way to be like, you don't even know how high, like, it's just like very stupid, like, you don't even know how high you are. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, yeah. The last thing I want to say of my notes, my copious notes, is, you know, in the pool scene with the Baby Ruth.
I have a point about this too.
Where they're doing the synchronized swimming. There's just one random old ass caddy that's in there, like old dude, like Blue from Old School.
Yeah.
Like just some random old dude. All of them are younger, like doing around, and there's one old dude. Like, I guess that there is some reality to that because, right, like everybody has had a job where like you're as you're growing up, where like you have a job where everybody's all the same age, except for that one dude who's like really way older, who just does this job because either it's easy or whatever. But like there's that one dude, and they captured that with this old dude swimming in the pool.
Yeah, I had that with Mariano's third shift. We had this old guy who was definitely like mobbed up who worked with us. There's always the one guy. But I have a story about the candy bar in the pool. I was 14 years old. We were doing swimming in gym, and it was third period of high school gym. So I don't know if you had to probably do swimming in high school gym. The worst. You're tired, you smell bad, you're like, you don't want to go to class after. It's terrible. You have to shower and change and all that crap. The swimming gym was the worst thing in high school. It had a third period of 8 periods. So I had 5 periods after that where you still have to go to class after you're just out of it. So my buddy Eric and I, we hated it. We hated high school swimming gym. We needed to put a stop to it. And we had both just seen Caddyshack for like the first time. And we're like, let's do that. We hated high school, the swimming gym. It was the worst. So like, let's get a Snickers bar or something, a Milky Way. I don't remember what we got. I think it was a Snickers. And we're gonna throw it into the pool. Well, we have to be very careful about it so Mr. Keller doesn't see that we're putting it in the pool, but we're putting it in the damn pool. We're gonna cancel swimming for that day.
Sorry, you're canceled.
For the rest of the day, everyone will be glad that they're not having to swim. Maybe we won't have to swim the next day after that. It'll be totally worth it. It'll be hilarious. So Eric has a Snickers bar. He undoes it. Where we go out to swim. Eric's gonna put the Snickers bar in the pool. It's gonna work. There's nothing. It's a turd. It's perfect. We chicken out entirely. We never had the opportunity to throw it in. We tried multiple times. It never worked. We were great big bitches about it. But we had this unwrapped Snickers bar and we still wanted to make a prank with it. So we threw it in the urinal as a goof in the locker room of the pool. And for the rest of the day, people were snickering, like whispering to people, somebody took a shit in the urinal in the pool bathroom. So that was my Caddyshack moment. That movie taught me things.
Yeah, it does. It teaches you things. But you got to think about this logically, right? Like, if you really want to do it right, like, you got to smuggle, and now you can get away with it because they've got the, like, small cans of Coke.
Yeah.
Right? You got to take a small can of Coke into the water with you and open it up and pour it into the water, because then it looks like...
Actually, it'd be good. It'd be like diarrhea.
Like diarrhea in the water. And you'd be like, and then you don't have, like, this thing that you're like, oh, that's clearly a candy bar. That's clearly a Snickers.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, God, there's a brown floating mat, like brown floating something in the water. Yeah. That's probably diarrhea. Everybody out of the pool.
And a Snickers is also kind of dark for if it like, it's like that doesn't even have like that's a big log.
Yes.
Like that's.
There's a lot that goes, and it's very it's very, very rectangular, like very specific.
I've never had fecal matter that's that perfect come out of me.
If you've had fecal matter that is as perfect as a Snickers bar, please let us know in the
let us know what your diet is, because that sounds like, I don't actually, the softer the stool is the better too, though. So if it was that rectangular, sounds like bad stool.
That's probably hurt. But kids, don't say that I told you, but can of Coke, one of those small little cans of Coke.
It'd actually even be easier to poop in the pool, literally poop in the pool, than put the Snickers bar in.
But you actually have to poop. So like if you've already pooped already, like
I can go like 4 times
you
a
can
day.
Poop like on demand. Like I could just be like, Kaiser, poop right now.
I could produce a poop for you in the next 10 minutes. I haven't had my coffee poop yet today. I could easily do it. I poop like 3 to 4 times a day.
Okay, so the moral of the story is either have a small can of Coke, or learn like Kaiser has done and learn to go poop on command, and you're good to go. And then just literally poop in the pool.
Then you'll never have to go to swimming gym.
Don't ever go to swimming class in gym.
All right, back to the movie. Do you have anything else? I think we're good.
I think we're good. I mean, I just want to say, like, I love Rodney Dangerfield. I love his comedy.
Me too.
I love his character in this movie. All of the times that he's making fun of Judge Smales is so perfect. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. And I think he makes a lot of the movie. And I think if you had to go through, like, you ask people, what do you like about Caddyshack? Most people are gonna be, oh, I love Bill Murray. He's so funny. Chevy Chase was so funny.
I go Dangerfield.
It's Dangerfield. He is the underrated element of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he gets He does not get the respect.
He
He don't get no respect.
Well, that's the story of my life. No respect. I don't get no respect.
I think he carries all of his movies.
Yeah.
Just but you take him out for a replacement level actor, and it's not the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Score, I'm gonna go 7-4.
I'm gonna go lower, like I always have been doing, at least in today's movies that we've talked about. I'm gonna go 7.1.
7.3.
I was between 7.4 and 7.3.
Well, look, again, a lot of these movies that are from this era, again, maybe it's my nostalgia, I just feel like they're way better and they deserve a higher ranking. So that's why I'm always like fading. I'm fading and I'm like going the lower route because like I feel like people who aren't my age or my generation that didn't grow up with these movies, that maybe have seen it a couple times.
I didn't grow up with it though, and I think this is better than the movies today.
Well, definitely better than the movies.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's just nostalgia. Maybe it is. Maybe we'll find out 20 years from now that, like, I don't know, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is a launch to a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think, like, the quality is certainly there.
Yeah.
I remember when I was into nostalgia.